Well, after a week of foreign policy, the president turning his focus domestically, trying to get pharmaceutical prices down. How to do that is the real question. Drug pricing goals, increase competition in the drug markets. You heard him there. Give Medicare Part D plans better tools to negotiate on behalf of senior citizens. Develop new incentives for drug manufacturers. Develop options to lower patients' out-of-pocket spending. You've got these prescription drugs in the U.S., 18,000 plus approved and available. And this number, $328 billion spent on drugs. 49% of Americans have used a prescription drug in the last 30 days. Amazing stats as you go down the line there. Let's start there and bring in our panel. Steve Hayes, editor-in-chief of the Weekly Standard. Karen Tumulty, opinion writer for the Washington Post. And Molly Hemingway, senior editor at the Federalist. Karen, ambitious for the president to go down this road. We've seen other administrations try to do it. What about this? Well,
he did, however, back off of his campaign promise, which was to have Medicare negotiate directly with the pharmaceutical companies for prices. That was the howitzer of all of this, and he decided not to fire it. And so it's significant that after this was announced, the stock prices of the pharmaceutical companies actually went up.
Yeah, and so speaking of pharmaceutical companies, part of this, the HHS secretary said you had to adjust what's in ads. Take a listen.
Think about all the time that everybody spends watching drug company ads on TV and how much information companies are required to put in them. If we want to have a real market for drugs, why not have them disclose their prices in the ads too?
So basically, the HHS secretary is saying transparency on pricing for drug companies.
Yeah, but to do that, you have to enact new regulations, when I think a lot of the rest of the plan was about deregulating or streamlining how these drugs make it to marketplace. To the point about the stock market showing that it wasn't just the drug companies, but also the pharmacy benefit managers, their stocks also went up. I think that what was really interesting about the plan was that it does get more generics into the marketplace. That's really key. That's key for lowering the prices, and it's the most substantial thing. The rest seems to be more about like sharing among the different groups who gets to get all this money. So it's also true, if you're going to pass something like this, you need Democratic support. It's going to be less robust than it was talked about, but I think it does have a chance to get pretty big Democratic support.
There are some levers, though, at HHS that they can do outside of Congress.
Sure.
There's a lot of power there.
Yeah, no, HHS has a lot of power, and that's why, you know, the president's announcements, these announcements aren't necessarily broad. You listed the goals. A lot will depend on how they roll it out and what the actual details look like. But I think, I mean, on the matter of recruiting Democrats, I mean, it seems to me that what the president did was take a step away, as Karen points out, from his campaign rhetoric. This is a less populist plan. It's something that more in line with traditional Republican president might offer. And I think that will make it less attractive to Democrats in Congress if this, in fact, has a big push forward, because it's not as government-centric.
All right, let's turn to the Russia investigation. Well, specifically the Cohen part. Michael Cohen, the president's attorney, has this contract with AT&T. We learned that they hired him January through December, a one-year contract, $50,000 per month, limited to providing consulting and advisory services, apparently tied to the Time Warner deal. The head of AT&T, Randall Stephenson, coming out telling employees it was a big mistake, Karen.
Yeah, and he was the second CEO to apologize for having hired Michael Cohen, the other being the head of Novartis, the drug company. It's not that any of this is illegal. In fact, it's very much business as usual in Washington. It's just it's the influence industry is there. It's just new players in it. But it is unseemly, and it does. These are the kind of deals that corporations just hate to have put out in the open.
Steve?
Then they shouldn't do them, honestly. I mean, if they don't want to be exposed, don't do it. Look, this cuts against...
But they are living in the swamp.
Of course, they want to make their best arguments. If they can pay somebody to make their best arguments for them, they'll do that. This cuts against the heart of President Trump's campaign message. He was going to drain the swamp. This is the swamp. It's the swamp, only swampier. And I think that's why this is a potential political problem for the president. For the people who supported the president because they thought, I'm sick of Washington, D.C. I don't like the way that Washington operates. Everybody's scratching everybody's backs. It's payoffs here. It's kickbacks there. That's basically what this is.
Let's start. I want to rewind. This started with a lot of focus on the Russian oligarch tied to one of the companies. The company's denied that he was funding it for the money that made it to Cohen. We don't know what Mueller has, but what about where that Russia part of it stands and what we know about it?
Well, first off, I think it's worth remembering that the reason why this is even being discussed is because there was a leak by government officials of sensitive information. I don't know if that came from the special counsel, someone at the Treasury Department, somewhere else. That's a criminal leak. It's really inappropriate. And there's been a big problem with leaks coming from various investigations, and it should be taken seriously. And the problem with these amounts really is that the size and scope of government is so big. And if you want to drain the swamp, you have to deal with the size and scope of government. As long as it's this big, people are going to play this game. And it's not, and the way that everyone's acting like totally surprised that this is happening, it's a little bit of silly naivete. As for the trying to link this to the Russia investigation, I think it's interesting that this attorney Avenatti was trying to link it to Russia. That suggests that this information is part of this larger message about Russia. I don't think that case was actually made well, except that Russia is a country in the world that has global interests, and they might have distant ties to some of these companies that are funding.
What about the Nunes part and what they are not getting out of DOJ as of yet? Karen?
Well, at this point, it's been interesting that the White House has sided with, and the Department of Justice had on the same side of this one. We haven't seen them in that position that often. So the Hill is going to continue to push, the Republicans on the Hill are going to continue to push for this source to be revealed. And the question really, I think, is going to be whether, once the president understands that this source is also somebody who has been cooperating with the Mueller investigation, whether we're going to continue to see this united front.
And I think that's what was so interesting about this Department of Justice leak to the Washington Post. By their own admission, what they're saying is they have a top secret source who provides information to the CIA and the FBI, who was getting information from the Trump campaign to develop this Russia story. That's a huge story. I don't know why the Department of Justice leaked that to the Washington Post, but that suggests also that it doesn't even matter really who the particular person is, but this is a new layer, a new piece of information that is definitely going to come out one way or another. And I can't imagine they're going to be very successful at keeping this new development secret.
Well, and you often hear the argument that we can't provide more information either to congressional oversight committees or to the public because it would jeopardize an investigation, it would expose a source, what have you. And we just don't know enough at this point to know whether that's the case in this particular instance. But it is interesting. There have been leaks on both sides of this. There have been obvious government leaks, but there have been leaks. I mean, part of the reason that we know more about the nature of the original leak is because there have been counter leaks. So it seems to me that if you're upset about leaks, you got to be upset about leaks on both sides.
All right, I just really quick down the row. How long do you think it takes before Mueller wraps up his probe?
It's hard to say. I would say 6 months.
I think it's going to depend on how long it takes to negotiate whether the president gets subpoenaed, whether the president goes in and testifies.
But past the midterms,
he doesn't want it to go past the midterms, I don't think. Mueller does not.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're going through this negotiation.
But once you get too close to the midterms, then you don't want to do that either.
I think there's a lot about the Mueller probe that is interested in sort of saving face for the FBI, and it's been difficult to do that. They don't have Russia collusion. The obstruction case is going to be difficult to make. They're moving on to other things. I don't know if it'll wrap up soon.